Hello art beaters, Becky here, and I've got a brand new video for you today. Today we're going to be joined by a really special guest, Tracy from TierraCast. Tracy is going to be showing us how to make some really cute teardrop earrings with pieces from the new Wild Wild West collection. Now she's going to be sharing even more pieces from the collection and even more jewelry inspiration. So there is a lot of wonderful stuff to take a look at and learn in this video. We've got links to everything in the video description. You can shop the collection on our website, artbeads.com, and we also have some really great tutorials on our website for using these pieces in your jewelry too. So make sure to watch, enjoy, and thank you guys. All right, so let's make some earrings with these beautiful pieces. So these are your Longhorn teardrop earrings, correct?
I think that's what I called them. Yep. Yeah. I need to put another mat on my work surface or everyone's going to hear just tools clanking and clanking onto the wood desk. Yes, these are the Longhorn Teardrop, and they, of course, have the concho post. They have our one of our stitch around teardrops that we launched a couple of years ago, and that are very much made for seed beading around, but they're great for, doing anything with. And then it's got the Longhorn charm and that little flower spacer is a tiny little accent. So each of these little bead dangles is just a simple loop with a gemstone and a seed bead. And then all of these little round jump rings just kind of take up the space so that those will kind of fan out nicely. So that was
I love the use of the jump rings in those earrings.
Yeah, they're a decorative element. Usually a jump ring is very much a functional element, but in this case, they're a little decorative.
Love it. Oh, someone was asking, I love the bracelet. Is there a tutorial? Yes, I did put a tutorial for this bracelet on our website as well, and I've got a link to that in the video description, Michelle. And we also have, we're going to be showing you how to make these earrings here today, but we also have a tutorial for them on our website too, which I've linked. So you can have text instructions. You can come back and watch this, use them both together. So we've got you covered.
Becky, so the first thing with these earrings is to just make a whole bunch of dangles.
Okay.
And what I did with these was they're alternated. So some of them, half of them are seed bead. Then in the original pair, I used some beautiful little gemstones. I forget what the type of stone is, but it's gorgeous.
I think it's
blue apatite, I think.
Yes, blue apatite.
Yes. But in this version, I thought I would use some little check glass beads.
I love that. Yeah, that's our featured bead of the month is check glass fire polished.
Oh, a little fire polish. Yes. And these are, I believe, 4 millimeter.
Perfect.
A funny story is Becky and I, of course, were coordinating what we were going to do today. And I said, I don't have quite enough of these fire polish beads. Will you send me another bag? And I asked her for the wrong size. So
for another project, right?
Yeah, but I'm wanting to use the 4 millimeter for these. I think that they'll hang a little better. So I'm just setting up. I'm setting up 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just alternating.
Okay. And you're working with 8/0 round seed beads, correct?
I am. So I'm doing 4 for each side. Let's get that out of the way. It's confusing.
And you're making your earrings with the gold finish components, and I'm making mine with silver. So you can see the different finishes.
What kind of beads did you decide to use?
So I've got some more turquoise gemstone beads. They're 3 to 4 millimeters in size, and then I've got some 8/0 Toho seed bead rounds in this. It's kind of like a really dark coppery color.
Pretty
good with the turquoise.
These ones are like, I think they're called glazed, semi-glazed terracotta. Yeah, I'll bet you guys have those.
And you're just making simple loops for your dangles?
I am making simple loops. And with the simple loops, so I've got these ones all set up. I've got my 4 alternated per side. I'm double checking to make sure I did them right. And then we also want the little flower accent bead dangle.
Yeah.
And that one is seed bead at the bottom, and then the flower spacer bead.
Okay, let's not.
And we're going to do 2 of those. And those, when we're hanging those onto the teardrop, they'll be kind of alternated with the other ones. I'm setting them up. And even though as I start doing the simple loops, this is all going to get fouled up. So I don't know why I'm working on that now, but you know, I just am. All right. So simple loops.
Get it all laid out in your brain, right?
Yeah. Everybody has their techniques. Whenever I'm demoing a simple loop, I always, some people fold theirs with the pliers. I usually fold the wire over my thumbnail. Some people start by rolling around those pliers, but I always suggest using your thumbnail to kind of protect the top of your bead, because especially if it's a glass bead and you bend that wire down on it, it can crack. Exactly. So I always recommend using your thumbnail to protect the top of it. And then I want a slightly roomy, simple loop for these. The jump rings that we're using as adornment, I really want my my loop to be about the same diameter as those. So I'm going to, do I have a ruler handy? I do. I think I want my wire, I'm going to trim it. I want it to be about 1/2 inch, because that's going to make a nice roomy loop.
All right.
And then to do that, I'm going to work further up on the plier jaws, so it's should work out just about the right size.
Yeah, I kind of start when I'm making simple loops. I'll start with my chain nose pliers, but like just at the very tip of them, and I like to bend it down close to the bead. So that's, and then I think Cynthia will start with her round nose and just roll. So yeah, everybody's got different techniques.
So I wasn't completely happy with that. It was a little bit too long, so I don't know if anybody caught that. I trimmed just a smidge off.
Okay.
So now to do the rest of them, if I had cut this right the first time, I could use that wire scrap as my gauge. But again, I did trim a little bit more off, so I'm going to go just a smidge shorter, and then I'll use this one as my gauge for the rest of the charms. And I am just going to go ahead and bend them and cut them, and then I will come in and do all my loops at once.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And if if you're doing this a lot, you get to where you don't really need to measure every time. You kind of can estimate, and you're close enough.
So everybody make sure to leave a comment of what's your favorite piece in this collection. I think mine might be the cactus landscape, but I do really love that snake too. It's hard to choose a favorite.
I think, sometimes it's just if you start working with them, one will become your favorite. Yes. You'll see that it has the versatility or the flavor that you want.
So buy them all so you can figure out which one's your fave.
I just love that button, and I love it because it's a closure, it's a focal. I used it as a both necklace and earring focals in our designs. I don't think I ended up using it as an actual button, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
There's always more opportunities.
I can do that later.
Brenda says she thinks the flower spacer would be her favorite.
That's a
That's
pretty
good one.
versatile. Yep.
Danielle says she loves that cactus landscape, but the buttons are her favorite too. Oh yeah, Jen said, my simple loops do not turn out as nicely as you ladies can make them. Still need the one-step looper for making them.
Oh, you know, those are pretty darn handy.
Yeah.
I tend to really change the size of my loops depending on what I'm using them for. So I have used the one-step loopers, and I do like that they come in 2 sizes, but I don't end up using them very often because I'm always kind of adjusting the size of my loops for my project.
If I know I'm making a bunch of dangles or beaded links for something, I will totally use that one.
Okay. Those were a pretty amazing little creation, those one-step.
Yeah, incredible. Someone was really thinking for that one.
Yeah. Somebody's like, everybody struggles with the simple loops. What can we do? So I'm just going back in. You know, I made all my loops, but I didn't close them all perfectly. And now I'm just doing QC here.
Yep.
I'm straightening and I'm closing better. I'm going to be opening them anyway to put on the hang them on the teardrop.
Right.
But still, a little QC. You know, when your loops are carefully formed, it's a small part of a jewelry design, but it really can affect how the quality of the overall design.
True.
All right. So mine are looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just.
And what I have to decide, Becky,
yes,
is whether to just hang the dangles on first, or hang a dangle and then add the 3 jump rings and another dangle and add the 3 jump rings, or just put all the jump rings on and then hang the dangles in between. And I think that's where I'm going to go.
You're going to put all the jump rings on?
Yeah. So I need, each earring has 3, 6. There's 3 in between. 9, 12. And then there's 6 at the bottom. So there's 15 on each side. I'm going to double check that. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yep.
So I'll do it the other way. I'll put on a dangle and then the jump rings and the dangle and then the jump rings. How about that?
Okay, that sounds great. And we can race. We'll see.
We'll race.
I'm just kidding. Let's not put pressure on ourselves. I'm just counting my jump rings. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Beading is never a race. Just always tell yourself that.
Yeah. 25. I need 1. Oh, no, I don't need 1 more.
Especially if you're speed beading. There's no fast way around that.
All right. So I'm just going to start attaching jump rings to my teardrop. And these are certainly a slightly heavy design, especially with the gemstones. So someone could adapt this by just reducing the number of dangles and taking some of the weight off.
Yeah, you could easily just dangle that longhorn charm and
call it good.
Yeah.
1 little dangle on either side just for some color. Yeah. And I was talking about, you know, closing your simple loops and kind of elevating the quality of a design. Same goes for jump rings. You know, if your jump rings are nicely closed and aligned, it just looks a little nicer. Plus, it eliminates this on a bracelet. Eliminates the scratchy factor. If the jump ring is not quite closed, it can be a little bit scratchy.
Yes, and the proper way to open and close a jump ring.
Right.
2 chain nose pliers, and you kind of wiggle them.
And I'm a chain nose and bent nose girl. That's my pair.
Yes.
What is that? What you like too?
I typically have just chain nose, but bent nose I really like because it's easier to kind of see what you're doing too.
Yeah, and sometimes only a pair of chain nose and a pair of flat nose will do. If it's a really like tiny little space to get in, I don't know. I have had occasions where I had to use the flat nose as the second pair instead of the bent nose.
This works up pretty fast.
What's that?
This works up pretty fast.
What I've got, one of these jump rings is a little bit out of round. It's like it's kind of spread into a C for some reason. So to fix that, I'm just grabbing it on both sides and wiggling them back and forth towards each other. I'm just kind of going and wiggling and pushing them together until I can get them lined up.
There you go. There's always a way. Most of the time.
I know there occasionally a jump ring gets so mangled there's just no fixing it, but usually you can get it to behave.
So you guys went to Tucson this year, didn't you?
I did not.
Oh.
Julie went to Tucson. You know, we have done for the last, well, since quarantine, we started working with a few other wholesale jewelry suppliers, including Dakota Stones and Beadalon and Leather Cord USA and a couple other vendors. We started working on a digital online kind of
bead. You know, so, that's really the direction things are going, especially in today's world.
Yeah, so we did that a couple or 3 times. I kind of forget. And they were successful, and they were really a great way to communicate with our customers and to show them our new product launches. Of course, we timed them with the new product launches. And then, but this year we were interested in doing a actual physically in Tucson kind of show. So Julie's our sales rep. She worked with the whole Mojo. The show is called Mojo, Makers of Jewelry, Supplies, and Other Things. And so she worked with everybody, and they put together a little wholesale only bead show down in Tucson. And it was pretty scaled back. You know, we used to do a big bead show, and then the last few years we've just done like open houses and had our wholesale customers come visit us there. So this was kind of a marriage of the two. So it's a little, not quite like what we'd have to put into to do a big bead show, and a little bit more than just the open house approach. And from what I've gathered, the feedback I've gotten from Julie is that it just went wonderfully. People were thrilled to be back in Tucson at shows. And I think it went really well.
Great.
But it was, like I said, it was a one-woman show. Julie went on her own, and I think she survived. I'm kind of not sure.
Well,
you know, bead shows are a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that sounds like a good hybrid between getting back into things,
right,
merging the digital with the present.
Right. So you guys, art beads is often, I mean, historically, always you guys take a trip to Tucson, but no, you guys didn't do that.
No, not these past couple years, just with the pandemic and everything. And, you know, when Tucson was happening, it was kind of like when Omicron was getting even crazier. So.
Right. It was very nerve-wracking. There was a lot of should we or shouldn't we? How are you doing? You're attaching yours in sequence, right?
Yes, I am. And I'm about ready to add my Longhorn charm.
Oh, she's beating me.
Uh-oh.
It's not a race, but still she's beating me. You've got everything on? Oh no, you're halfway done. And you're adding your long.
Halfway done.
Oh, never mind.
Not that fast.
Because you're at the midpoint where you're adding
Yes.
where you're adding your Longhorn.
Oh, I love this. I love this in the silver.
I'm excited to see it.
Oh, yes. Keep going. I love the this project, you only have to know a couple simple techniques and you can just, get flying.
It is. It's a pretty impressive design. It's just like, it's definitely their statement earrings for sure.
Yes. I love a
But
statement.
it's really just simple loops and jump rings.
Gotta love that. So this is a great one if whether you're really comfortable with jump rings and simple loops, or if you want to just have more practice. This is a great one for practicing opening
Yeah,
jump rings.
for sure.
Need some water. Always stay hydrated when beading.
It's true. Jewelry is, it's hard work. Stay hydrated. Okay, so this is my last jump ring. Even just like that, that's kind of an interesting earring. Just the jump ring on the teardrops. But so the layout.
I like it with just the jump rings. I had a coughing attack.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So I do want to pay attention to, I'm going to start adding my bead dangles, and I have to add them in the correct order. So
yeah, I kind of had to
seed bead at the bottom, seed bead at the top, flower, seed bead at the top, seed bead at the bottom. I think that's my plan. So one dangle. I'll slide over 3 jump rings and add a second dangle.
Audrey says she loves making with TierraCast.
Oh, thank you, Audrey.
And Elise loves TierraCast too. Yay, so do we.
You guys are why we do what we do.
Would not be here without you guys.
Right.
I've been adding, I've been really into Manuka honey in my tea.
Really? That's a very medicinal kind of type of honey, right?
Yes. So I did end up getting COVID earlier in the year.
Oh.
And so my husband's grandma recommended the Manuka honey because it does help with like clearing your cough and everything.
And the
it
inflammation.
really did help.
Nice. So
but then I just got used to adding it to my tea because it just tastes really good. And I didn't this morning, so maybe that's why.
Aha. And that's why you had a coughing fit.
Yes.
I hope that your stint with the COVID wasn't too terrible and that you recovered okay.
No, it lasted about a week. And then it was kind of like a really bad cold for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thankful for that.
Right. One of my children, my daughter's 27, she got it in the fall and it was horrible.
Yeah.
I was truly kind of terrified.
Right. It's scary.
Yeah.
I hope
all right.
You're okay too.
I forgot that I also need some of these bigger round jump rings.
Yes. I believe it's an 8mm one.
Yes. And the reason I chose such a big one for the, actually, I think I'll wait and hang my Longhorn last. But the reason I chose such a big jump ring is because I wanted it to hang below all the little dangles. I wanted it to go underneath them.
It does help with that.
Yeah. So I've got my dangles for one side. So now I need, because the center has 6 jump rings, and then I can start on the other side. 6.
I love the look of all those jump rings on there.
It's kind of fun, huh?
Yeah. So remember that jump rings aren't just basics. They can be fun.
Not just for hanging things.
One more. Oh, Michelle says she has a body balm of Manuka honey.
Oh, nice.
For skin issues. Ooh.
That sounds lovely. And I think it's very good for, like, if you use it as for skin, it's very good as an, for infection, like as an
Yeah, I was reading that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh,
Bees and honey are amazing.
I know, aren't they? My little seed bead's trying to fall off.
Uh-oh.
One, 2, 3. The good thing about, I mean, I'm separating my beads by 3, my dangles by 3 jump rings. If I miscount, I can fix that later.
Mm-hmm. I've just got 2 more dangles to add.
You know, when we do go down to Tucson and visit with our customers, we always take a lot of project inspiration and have a big old make and take table.
Mm-hmm.
So this was one of the projects that Julie took down.
Oh, fun.
I haven't really had a chance to talk with her to find out what was the favorite project, because she did take about 6 projects. Haven't had a chance to really find out what the fave was, but
I feel like this is, I mean, all of the projects for these pieces are going to be great for Tucson because they have that
very southwestern, western feel. And let's see. So this is looking, I'm at the point where I can add my my Longhorn charm, and I'm double checking to make sure I hung my dangles in the proper order, and it looks like I did okay.
Ooh, so you might beat me. I've just got 3 more jump rings and a dangle to add, and then I will be done as well. So they're pretty close in time.
Mm-hmm. And everybody knows, some people, I shouldn't say everybody knows, but there are people who recommend that when you're closing a jump ring, that you wiggle it 3 or 4 times as you're closing, and that kind of work hardens it a little bit so that in theory it stays a little more secure. Have you heard that, Vicki?
Yes, I have. And Cynthia always, when she's doing that, she'll wiggle it and then like wait to hear. Sometimes with some jump rings, you can hear like a little click.
Yeah, if you're pushing it and you're waiting for that little click of the ends kind of really lining up. I want 1 more of those little round jump rings. I shorted myself, just 1.
So cute. Oh my goodness. Oh, these are fun.
I'm going to demonstrate that since we were talking about it. So, the opening and closing of the jump rings is always back and forth instead of spreading it open. And what Becky was just saying is, as I was demonstrating earlier, if you have one that's kind of spread open, then you kind of push them together as you're wiggling them to get the ends to line up. But that's also, did you guys hear that? It's pretty quiet. But as you're doing that and you push them enough where they just click against each other as they're lining up, then you get a really nice join.
Yes.
It really, you don't end up with a gap, and they're just really nicely closed if you take the time to do that the little wiggle, the wiggle and click.
The jump ring wiggle. It's the newest dance move.
All right. So I'm ready to hang my post on, and the only thing I need to check is make sure I'm hanging it so that the charm is hanging towards the front correctly.
Oh, you know what? I did that. I did it backwards.
Did you? All right, I'm done.
Too fast.
How about you, Beck? Are you just hanging on the post?
Yeah.
Well, that was very, both approaches took about the same amount of time.
Yeah. So you can watch that and decide which way you're going to do it. Either way works about just as fast.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it in the gold.
Oh, I'm loving it with this kind of turquoisey green check glass fire polish. Oh, that's nice.
Silver too. It looks good in any finish, really.
Really, and I can't wait to see yours. You're just on the small screen, so we don't really
make it big. Isn't that fun?
Oh yes.
So I only had one of these cute little flower beads, so I actually used another one of your spacers. But
that's our Euro spacer, one of my favorites. That came out really nice.
Yeah, really pretty. Oh, I'm loving that. So then once you do that, all you have to do is make the other earring.
That's right. It's just that one last small thing.
Yep. So beautiful. Oh man. Well, thank you, Tracy, for showing us how to do those earrings.
Well, thanks for playing along, Becky. I love them. I love the silver and I love the gold and I love the copper. I love them all.
Yes, more earrings and all the finishes. Love that. Gorgeous. Well, thank you so much, Tracy. Like I said earlier, we do have instructions for the earrings we just made on our website, artbeads.com, and we've got some other tutorials that I showed you on our website as well. And then if you head to TierraCast.com, they have a lot of inspiration there as well, more than just what's here. So really wonderful pieces in this new Wild Wild West collection. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
I am too. I can't wait to use more of it. I want to use those snakes. Got to use those crimpins. Got to use it all.
Yep. Oh, Becky, there was one design I didn't show that I absolutely love. And it uses those crimpins as a tassel holder. So this was a really fun design to make using that crimp end.
Thank you for showing those, because we have those on our website as well. So
yeah, those are versatile.
Yeah, beautiful. So gorgeous. I love using those crimpins for tassels.
They're fun. They're fun. I like it too.
So wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure to shop all those wonderful new pieces from TierraCast. We've got links to everything in our video description. And thank you, Tracy, for joining me and making with me.
Oh, it was fun. Thanks. A beading date is always fun.
I know. We'll call it our late Galentine's Day.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Thanks, Becky.
Thank you. And let us know, guys, what your favorite piece is from the collection. So make sure to leave a like and a comment. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed our special guest, and I hope that you were able to learn something and get inspired with all of the pretty pieces from the new Wild Wild West collection. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, let us know what you'd like to see next. We always love hearing from you guys. And as always, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you're the first to know when videos like this one come out. All right, thanks guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.